What's up, everybody? My name is Mr. Straight Facts. The show is the Mr. Straight Facts Show. Let's get into this. I was on vacation, so to everybody know, all last week I was gone. I was in Seattle. I tried their coffee. It was all good. It wasn't like it was spectacular. You know, I guess it's a coffee, I don't know, state within the United States, whatever. But I'm not gonna lie. One place was really good. But Starbucks was everywhere, and I don't mess around with Starbucks too much. So, what's up, Pushing the Box Podcast and Vera? So, this past week, I was on vacation, but I wasn't away from news. I mean, this past week was crazy. Every day I was like, I'm going to post. My girlfriend was like, aren't we going to go somewhere? I'm like, all right, cool. I'm not going to post. I'm going to chill. So I took the week off, but I kept looking, peeking. And then, it was hard for me not to say anything, to be honest. But this past week, Donald Trump, this fool was out there telling everybody's business. Bill Clinton was there on the island 28 times, 23 times, 28 times. He couldn't remember exact number. Oh, and then there was another guy who was the CEO of something. He was there too. And somebody else was there. Oh, Obama's trying, we need to, arrest him for treason. I'm like, what in the flying fuck are these people talking about? I mean, something's wrong when this man goes, he's already off script all the time. But this man goes like left, right, and I mean everywhere when this is happening. He called his people stupid. That was the end of the previous week. And then all of a sudden, here we are. This man is trying his best to hide whatever's going on. Trying his best. Now, here's a question that I got for anybody who's listening. You don't act this way unless you're guilty of something. I mean, it's too easy. Who is accused of doing something and didn't do it that is out here pointing at everybody else? He went, she went. And here's the thing that tells it all. And this is the thing I'm tripping off of mainstream media. If you get a chance to see this, you guys don't ask the right questions. I'm just going to put it that way. You just don't ask the right questions. I was watching on the way to work today. I was watching one of the stations. I don't remember which one it was. But regardless of what it was Donald Trump and this prime minister in the EU or whatever talking. That was like pulling teeth. They were talking in circles and shit, y'all. Talking about like, oh, that EU dude, whatever his name is. I can't remember his name. Streamer or something, whatever his last name is. This dude was like, for lack of a better terms, licking the side of my man's nuts. He's like, oh, we're good. We're friends and we do this and we're nice and I think we like each other and like each other. I think he likes me. I'm like, fuck, I don't care if he likes you or y'all can hate each other. Do your damn job. I give a shit if you're handing each other hearts and shit during the job. I mean, it was just, I had to turn it off. I was like, man, all they keep doing is, oh, I think we like each other. I like you. I like him. He likes me. Whoa, what is that? I have never seen any president that anybody even somewhat respected, or leader for that matter. He has dumbed down every leader to likability. What is the deal with this likability crap? To me, it's just weak. I don't care if you like me or don't like me. We just have to deal with the issues at hand. We don't have to kumbaya at the end, agree, disagree, or agree to disagree, move forward. It's icing on the cake if we like each other. But we don't need to say we like each other. Our actions prove whether we like each other. We work well together. You can see it. But these people are so political. We like each other. They got to say it as if we give a damn. Are you doing what's right for the American people? Yes? All right. I don't care if you like them, love them, hate them. You could date him for all I give a fuck. I'm just saying, do your job. I don't need to know the rest. And the media just continues asking, and I know he put these sycophants around him, but they ask the same damn questions. And they never have any kind of legitimate follow-up. I mean, after they said something about liking each other, I'm like, somebody should have just said, okay, we get it. You guys like each other. Now let's get the policies. Because they go away from it and they come back, we like each other. It was insane, y'all. It was insane. So that to me earlier today just threw me off. And Donald Trump this past week, like I said, I was on vacation. Every time I turned on something, this dude was throwing somebody else under the bus. Nobody who's innocent is throwing people under the bus. And because it ain't got nothing to do with you. It's like, I don't know anything about that. But here's the gotcha point that none of these mainstream media people did, that I saw at least. Donald Trump started spewing Bill Clinton was there for 28 times and some other dude was there so many times. Donald Trump doesn't have a brain like that. Everybody knows Donald Trump's brain don't work like that. I know he could throw up random names, numbers, but he don't work like that, which it tells you that Pam Bondi, Dan Bongino, Kash Patel, all who have seen it, they have let this man know that this man is in it. That this man is in it. And they gave him like some kind of fodder, gave him some fuel to push it toward everybody else and not himself. Because he don't know these numbers. Donald Trump don't read. So somebody fed him that, so therefore he can get everybody off, especially MAGA, off his back. And he out here ratting out everybody, but no details. For you to know the numbers means you know exactly what they went for. And don't put it past Donald Trump to have his lawyer, Todd Blanche, going to meet up with Ghislaine Maxwell and her lawyer with nobody else around. You guys know that's not the policy. That's not protocol. The attorney or the deputy attorney general, Todd Blanche, Donald Trump's lawyer previously, personal lawyer, goes to meet up with her for what? She's already been convicted. All the evidence that she has is out there. What is he going there for? It's strange. And I'm just putting numbers together. I don't know what they mean, but I put them together. These puzzles. Donald Trump says Pam Bondi never told him anything about him being in the list. Nope, didn't talk to me. He said no, twice. And then he continued on. So he lied. We find out a day or so later that he did know. Not only that, 1,000 agents were pulled off of actual fucking jobs to go look through hundreds of thousands of documents to find his name. They got back to him on whatever the hell they found. Still said it was not in there, but somebody leaked it and said, oh yeah, this fool's in there. So the Democrats got it and everybody got it. I forgot the Latin guy who tricked them at the last minute to vote so that they can, I think it was either the Senate, to vote to get these, it may have been the House, but to vote to get these documents so they can get the full documents, which they didn't want to happen. Mike Johnson cancels out everything for, they go home. And I'm like, you got until like what, September when you're going to come back sometime, whatever. All that time with nobody knowing answers. They're going to try and Mike Pence these fools going into these meetings and stuff with the people. But they've been trying their best to kind of like throw something. Here's a fire. Here's some smoke. Here's a fire. Here's some smoke. And nobody's really following that path because, again, if they are in it, thank you. But we ain't going to just take your word for it. And here's the other thing that people don't understand. For most Democrats, we don't care if Bill Clinton's in it. If he did something wrong, send his ass to jail. I'm not a sycophant. I don't believe in just like, marching orders from, an orange or white, Latin, black God. That ain't it. if children were hurt by these people, jail is where they need to be. If you got video of them with teenagers and kids underage, charge them, put them in jail. Evidence is the video. How can you back out and say, I didn't know she was 12? How can you not charge somebody for that? The video's right there. There's many a times that the state charges people for doing crimes. You don't even need the person. We've charged the state versus all the time. And then their excuse this past week was, we don't want to, expose the victims. And I don't know how many victims signed up for this thing, but recently it was in the news that the victims said, hell, we don't care. Get them. So they ain't got a problem with them being shown or whatever. Not that we want to show any videos, but it can be blacked out. But many of them have come out and said, we don't care. Get them. But yet, these so-called Republican Christians are out here saying, let's hold off. Let's push it for some months. But when Democrats were in office and when Hillary was running, they had all these cabals. The Democrats were drinking the blood of kids and raping kids and eating them and lizards and Jewish space lasers, just batshit crazy stuff. But that's what they believed in. QAnon, all that. From one batshit crazy thing to another. Back to back to back to back. I don't know anybody in my lane, Republican, Democrat, independent, liberal. I don't know any of us. This is another thing I'm getting tired of you saying, mainstream media. I really am. We are not our leaders, okay? I have always talked about these kids having somebody, some voice. The rich and powerful need to come and be in trouble. Now, did I care about Jeffrey Epstein as much? No, he was dead. I'm like, he's out. Fuck him. You know what I'm saying? Hope somebody shanked him. That's the way I felt about it. It is what it is. But as far as like the other ones who were in there, I always wanted to know who it was. They keep acting like it wasn't a Democrat thing until, nah. You may talk about Democrat leaders, but all American citizens that I know of were like, they need to get these people. And Republicans act like they own that whole process. No, Democrats was looking for it too. Independents was looking for it too. Now, maybe our leaders was focused on doing things for us and not so much dealing with that. That's on them, but that wasn't us. We all want to know who these people are and put them behind bars. And now that they know their orange leader is all up in them documents, oh, let's go on vacation. Oh, look at Bill Clinton. As if we were just going to turn around, look at Bill Clinton, be all mad and just stop thinking about Trump. No, you're in them too, bro. And you guys hear him say the statements now, because again, repetition is what Donald Trump does. Repetition helps the people kind of like have something to say. Very short term things, and things that rhyme also help. They get people like easily to be able to defend themselves with stupid statements. But Donald Trump is out here saying, and he's saying it over and over again, I didn't go to Epstein Island, or I didn't have the pleasure of going to Epstein Island. Things of this nature, because there isn't any documentation that we know of that places him at the at that island, Epstein's Island. I forgot the exact name of it, right? There's no documents that we know of that place him there. But all of the groping, the raping and accused raping, sexual assaults and all that, there's over 26 of them. None of them were at Epstein's Island. So he's trying to focus everybody just on Epstein Island instead of on Epstein. See, Donald Trump, and we're going to go over some of them, just a few, because I don't have all 26 information. We're going to go over where these places were that he did these things and what they accused him of. And how America really kind of like just blew by and let this man for years, damn near a decade, skate by, saying that grabbing women by their private parts was locker room talk. And then women came out saying, nah, he grabbed me by my private parts. And then you had Christians thinking that these women lied or didn't care because they cared more about what Donald Trump was going to promise them. See, this is where it comes out where many of us, I'm sure, before Donald Trump came up on the scene, and specifically people of color, we were kind of split, but on the same side in a way. What I mean by this is that we knew this country was racist, but many of us thought it was getting better, right? We knew that certain people didn't understand history or didn't understand us or what we were going through in this country, or was just plain ignorant about it or just trying to ignore it. We knew that type of thing, but most of us had no clue how ignorant our country is and was at that time. At that time, we thought, it's getting better. We're still fighting, we're a little ahead. But then Donald Trump came and started speaking stupid, speaking racist, speaking separatism, division. And we quickly started to understand how many people in this country, you are just a few trigger words from being a hateful piece of shit. From being like, oh, you're nice, wonderful, blah, blah, blah. Few trigger words. And you'll turn into one of the most racist, disrespectful, sexist, separatist person on the planet. And you'll be like, I didn't know I was like this. You won't even see that you are like this because someone's validated you to be like this. And you wonder how slavery started. Because trust me, it wasn't like that at first. You just got a group of people to start hating another group of people and therefore started acting out. Could you imagine? It went from, I like African named guy across the way, to I want to cut him up and eat parts of his body. You took a human being from hugging him to killing him with words. To hugging him and having a good time, hanging out, to watching him get hung and having a picnic. That is what happened to people's minds just by someone speaking to you. How? Most of us didn't think that shit was still going to be able to be possible again. That was back then. We understand black people have been taught. People of color, I'm sure, but I can only speak for black people. We've been taught the whole process of if you don't know your history, you're doomed to repeat it. That's why we keep it on the forefront of everybody's mind, what we've been through, because the moment people start forgetting, or when people start trying to say, oh, it never happened, or we learned to trade through slavery. If the whole country ain't in an outroar over that, we're in trouble. Now look where we're at. We got a rapist as a president, a racist as a president. The racist filter on people in this country has been lifted. They're openly racist, saying some of the most racist shit. You see that Mehdi Hassan debate? Openly racist, openly fascist. Young people. These aren't grandpa and grandma you would think be saying some shit like this. Young people. It throws you off. You're like, how in the hell could you guys be in that camp at 20 something? That's like great grandma type, mentality in a 20-something-year-old person. And you start to realize people are more like their ancestors than they think. All this time you've been hearing when people say, I'm not like I'm not like my ancestors. I'm not like this. I'm not like that. We didn't do this to you. We didn't go through slavery. We're not like our ancestors. The fuck if you're not? Not every ancestor started out talking that way. But after a while, it was either accepted or ignored. Ignoring, we can all agree, is accepting it. Silence, complicit, you don't do anything to stop it, it grows, you back up, and becomes the norm. We should all know that if we knew our history. And that happens to every culture. It's just that black people don't forget it. Every culture has had its moment in which its society, its government, its ruling force have tried to X them out in some way, shape, or form. But the problem is, black people don't forget it. And because we don't forget it, we keep moving forward. When people don't want to hear their past and they want to let it go, they want to repeat it. They want to repeat it. Don't listen to anybody saying they don't want to know anything about their past. Because if they don't, they want it to repeat. And that's what you see these racists doing. Getting rid of people's education, getting rid of Department of Education, getting rid of like books and stuff of that nature that inform us about all the different flavors of human beings that live on earth. We just want one flavor. And in their mind, they just want vanilla. They don't want pumpkin spice. They don't want fucking chocolate. They don't want, whatever. They literally just want vanilla. And if we do nothing about it, that's what's happening. Look at our world as we stand right now. 2000, let's even go back. When Obama was president, I ain't even talking about his policies. Let's take it back before he was president. Let's say when Obama was running for president and his speeches, did we not feel like this country was moving in the right direction? The same thing that brought us together made hateful people come out and try to destroy it. And we've allowed the hateful minority to destroy the unity that man brought upon us. Everybody. There are many black, Latin, Asian, white, all allowed this shit to dissipate, to go downhill. And it's all because a black man was president. White men couldn't handle it. Not all of them, but the ones who want to destroy it couldn't handle it. The Mitch McConnells, he's going to be a one-term president. When things were trying to be better for the American people, health care was becoming a real thing with the Affordable Care Act. They had to label it Obamacare so they can get these people pissed off. The racist people in our country got shitty that they labeled it Obamacare so that these people would not want it. The division, they tried to blame it on Obama. The man never said a cross word about black people, white people, Latin people, Asian people, nobody. Donald Trump is the person who came in talking about Latin people, rapists and killers, and maybe some of them are good, Africans, shithole countries. He's the one who came out dividing everybody, and you'll get white people and people who like Trump to this fucking day talking about Obama was a divider in chief. That's a fucking lie. That man never said anything negative about black, Latin, Asian, white. He was always an uplifter, never a bring downer. They were so nice. They came up with, even his wife came up with a term, when they go low, we go high. They were always on a higher moral standard. It was these crappy ass, racist ass white men that were deep down in the dirt. And while they're dirty as fuck, they tried to call a brown man, he was the dirty one. And millions of white people, even ones who voted for him, again, it doesn't take much to trigger somebody who says they're for unity of all people to switch. Back in the day, like I said, Africans and Irish and other, because it wasn't black and white, they got along. They went to one place, church, and started talking bad about the African, and within no time at all, the African went from being a next door neighbor to a slave. I warned Latin people, look at history and how it happened to the African. Watch what's going to happen to you if you do not vote the right way. And what's happening to them? Moving towards slavery. And I can't say moving toward, they are enslaved. You're in prison. The 13th Amendment said the only place that you that slavery can come back by imprisoning people. And what did they do? Jim Crow. They threw us in jail for doing a little bit of fucking nothing. Sitting outside after a curfew, they could arrest you, throw you back on the farm, wherever the hell you was working at, for free, and you're in prison, shackled, just for being homeless. And now, just for being Latin, you're thrown in prisons in other countries, the language in which many of them do not speak, amongst people who literally killed for a living. And you're a hairdresser, a mechanic. And what does America do? Just sit here and watch it. This is the exact same thing the African did when we were here that became enslaved. The people around them, they looked at these Africans that they trusted and loved and watched them be thrown into prison camps and later be treated like property. They went from being treasured to being property. For hundreds of years. The problem I think we had is that we thought their mind was so ancient that it could never happen today. Well, my brothers and sisters, it's happening today. These Latin people are on the underground fucking railroad right now. They're hiding out, not going to work, because they don't want to be snatched up like the slave catchers did. If you do not see it, then you are purposely blind. They went from working and taking care of their families to hiding. People get mad when I match this up to all the horrors in history. What do you think the Jews did when Hitler started acting a fool? People keep on going to the fact of where Hitler was at the end or where he was after many years of doing it. It was only lasted 5 years. But the whole idea is that when he started, they were jailing him. Then he moved on to cooking them. So whenever you hear all these, it's mostly white men. I get tired of racist white men trying to tell everybody how to fucking think. Fuck you. The reality is the way Hitler did it and others did it in history and the way Donald Trump's doing it now. They dehumanize, they penalize, and when it gets down to the moment that they can't find nowhere to take these people, they will start cooking them. Think they won't. What's to stop them? What is to stop them? Americans ain't doing shit, just sitting by watching it. just like they did before when they took the African and turned him into a slave or enslaved him. People sat by and watched it and said, hey, I wasn't a part of it. My grandparents weren't a part of it. You watched it happen. You were a part of it. Silence is complicit. No fighting for it is complicit. Just letting it happen is complicit. And that's what we're doing now. Many Americans are sitting here being silent as these people destroy people's lives. Many of them are on this app and other apps celebrating it, not even realizing the evils that they're celebrating. Go watch them on your social media platforms. People celebrate, happy as shit. Don't even realize they are just like the fucking Nazis, excited that these people are being snatched up off the streets. That's just the first phase. It's just incredible how people do not recognize it is the exact same fucking thing as Hitler. People are like, oh, I don't want to hear that. Fuck you. Learn your history. Even Jewish people, which kills me. The dude did a Heil Hitler. Oh, well, a Jewish Federation or League or whatever the hell it is was like, oh, well, I think it was an awkward move. Shut up. Your ancestors would backslap you for you sitting there looking at a Heil fucking Hitler and you trying to talk it away as a Jewish man. You've normalized it. I've seen white people on these apps do it because Elon Musk got away with it. You guys said nothing. You have to say something. But what kills me, let somebody of another culture, a brown person, throw up that Heil Hitler, and they won't say. They will say everything under the fucking the sun, call you anti-Semitic and everything. It is all about what? Power and money. They let these people get away with destroying the very fabric of this country. It's those little moments where you let people, and they look like little, but they're huge. You let people of power and money and prestige go against your own people so you can get close to them, not thinking that their whole plan is to fuck over you and your entire culture. Get blinded by cash while they're trying to just blow out your entire family. How do you think this shit happened? Again, go back to history. How do you think they came and brought over to the Pilgrims and so forth, the Indians and everything like that? They brought over these poisonous blankets. You think they came to them like, oh, we can't stand you. Here's the poisonous blankets. Die, you fucking whatever. No. Just like now, they come and seem like we bring in gifts. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Happy Hanukkah. Here you go. And what you got is going to kill you. And they do it with a smile on their face. That is still today. And they have no qualms with it. They do it with a smile on their face. Kindness, it looks like in their heart, but it's evil. What Donald Trump is doing in this country is evil. You got too many people being complacent, saying, hey, ain't no big deal. I ain't gonna, it ain't affecting me until it does. I want you to notice something. Donald Trump's like MAGA people, specifically the white people in that MAGA world. When it hits you, it's over for all of us. Because they're going to hit you big time, like last. All right? And you think it's going to just affect the people of color and you're going to do fine and you're going to get a better job because these people are going to be either in cages or out of your country. But no, you're going to get harmed too. But you don't see it. Some of you guys have been strays and have gotten it. You've seen some of these older, not even older, some white people actually get caught up in this. They'd be married to an immigrant or whatever it may be, and they've gotten caught up into it. And They done lost their farms. They done lost their businesses or whatever. And they think Donald Trump has the magic pill somewhere down the line. He's going to give them a subsidy so that they can continue to keep their farms, which is crazy because they're the same ones hollering that everybody else needs to work hard for what they get and no free, ride for anything. But they're constantly looking for free money to save them from making poor decisions as farmers. Not all of them, but the ones who voted for Trump. Mm-hmm. Exactly. I see. Rude interplanet Janice. I still don't want terrible things to happen to people who voted for Trump. But that lady who was crying on camera had all these videos laughing about alligator Alcatraz. She had that shit coming. Yeah. I mean, again, I ain't trying to look bad for anybody, but my thing is, you know, you go down the path you go down. You choose that, and whatever you chose for whatever reason, if it blows up in your face, that's on you. You made that choice. You made that choice. And I can have sympathy or empathy if you didn't know about what that choice led down. But if a person came out of the area and said, "Ooh, don't go down there. There's this big hole, and then there's this thing that'll bite you. Don't go down that way." And that fool be like, anyway, and go down there, come back with one leg. I'm laughing. I'm just gonna laugh. I'm like, so it got you. It didn't get me. It got you. I told you about it. It still got. What happened? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna laugh as they sit there and die because I sure as hell ain't gonna be carrying them. I'm like, nah. I told you. I'm not gonna sit here and continue to give you some advice. Now that you want to listen, bye. Tell God that you had. This is one of those things where if you are in the Bible at all, or Christian, whatever. There's the story in the Bible where, well, at least it's a story that people say that it's a Bible story. I don't remember seeing what verse, anything myself personally, but how it was a conversation with God, and basically, God sent all these opportunities your way, and you chose not to take them. And he's like, "Why did you forsake me?" He's like, "Well, I sent you everything you needed. You just didn't pay attention." That's the way I'm looking at it. I told you. God told me to tell you not to go in there. You came back out with one leg. I told you. He sent me, but you chose not to listen. All right, Justin. I'll see you in a minute. But yeah, those are the things that just have me just rolling. But getting back on track, we have a president and a group of people who refuse to see that this country was great, and we can always do everything we can to make it greater. But they chose to regress us and take us back and to destroy everything we stand for. You know that things that Donald Trump and his minions are destroying in our government, in our democracy, are not easy to repair. Some may never be able to be repaired. And we got to come back in with the next person to rebuild all this shit. We got to start back over to bring this country back to where it should be and then propel. He's taken us back decades. I was just thinking earlier today, I was like, when I first, like I told you earlier, me and my friend, a homie of mine, Joseph, me and my friend, back in 2014, 15, whatever it was, and Donald Trump was talking about running. And I was naive because I literally thought we all had a common sense level that he hadn't came down the escalator yet. He was just talking about it, and he was mocking Obama and all this other stuff like that. And he was talking about he's gonna run. I was like to my homie, I was like, "Yo, he ain't gonna win, man. I don't know what you're talking about." My homie kept telling me, "Dude, I don't know," because he works in an industry where he's around a lot of wealthy people and well to do. And he hears a lot of things. And he's like, man, these people are like loving this dude. And I'm like, the dude speaks like a fourth grader. What the hell they learn about? And I promise you, I thought there's no way that our base level education in this country can't be that damn low that they think this man is good for the country. After seeing Obama, a brilliant man, you think an idiot is better for the country. That can't be. That just can't be. And when it was, I was like, well, damn. And then we got Biden. Then they went back to him after he destroyed. He had people, officers died because of this man. They had a noose at the damn the House of Representatives. They had a noose. I think it was the Senate. They had a noose waiting for the vice president. They were ready to kill the vice president for this man. For what? And they reelected him. How do you love your country when a man tries to destroy it and you all happy for it? You know me, I dug deeper and deeper to try and find out what is the issue with these people. And that Mehdi Hassan interview with those young kids, or not interview, but debate what they did with him, gave me more insight as to their problems. Because again, one of the things I think that we have a problem with is that there are too many, and what Donald Trump finds as a plus, that's why he said he loves the uneducated people or poorly educated, because he's one of them. And that's the point. He's a rich person who hangs with the elite but never was accepted because he was never elite quality, right? He couldn't understand what they were talking about. There's an interview with Jeffrey Epstein, if you get to see it, where Jeffrey Epstein's on camera. I think he's on tape at least. They got his audio from what I saw. And they asked him about Donald Trump's intellect. And he was like, oh, he's smart when it comes to like real estate. But he was like, for anything else, not so much. He said he wouldn't know how to read a balance sheet. Okay. This man is a businessman handling money. He doesn't know how to handle a balance sheet. He had a CPA who went to jail for him, probably still in jail. I don't know for sure. So he may not have to do that. But the reality is, you learn that in business school, which tells me if you can't do that, then in business school you sucked. Nobody's saying you got to read it to the point where you're an expert, but to be able to understand it, if you went to Wharton, Fordham, or whatever, you should be able to do that, which gives validation to his professor saying he's the dumbest motherfucking student he ever taught. It makes sense. Even Jeffrey Epstein knew he was an idiot. But he liked him because, we were rich and hanging out and raping women together. Right? Allegedly. What we know about Epstein is true, but Donald Trump, allegedly. But the reality is that this man got in and spoke to these people at their level. The reason why I bring up the previous with my friend is that I started to realize that we don't all speak and can comprehend at the same level. A lot of us don't know, larger terms, words, vicissitude, or, just different words that if you watch news, I sat back and watched news today, and terms that they use on the regular, those aren't terms that the average person speaks. And then you tune into Fox. I don't advise it, but hey, you got to do sometimes, I guess. And they speak on a dumbed down level. Jesse Waters is an idiot. I mean, pure, bona fide idiot. The way he speaks, he speaks, he speaks fluent stupid. His ability to like comprehend things is trash. And his like response is very childlike. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a, he always has to come back with this like even when it isn't something that's aggressive, he'll come back and try to make everybody else feel stupid. But that's just him hiding his own stupidity. Because what he says, you look it up, it don't add up. But what he speaks, and what the hard part for me is that he speaks to a large part of this country. That's why it shocked me, honestly, ladies and gentlemen, it shocked me to go look at the ratings, and you'll see the ratings of Fox is higher than any other station. Why? It may shock you, it may hurt you, it may whatever. I don't know what it's going to do for you. But for me, it shocked the fuck out of me when I started to realize that the majority of Americans are not bright. And I ain't talking about you ain't bright at your job. You may be fucking excellent at what you do. You may be excellent at raising your children. You may be excellent in your church. But when you tell them to comprehend at a 12th grade level, they don't do it. It's not a thing. That's why Donald Trump and these people can tell them that tariffs are taxes on the other country, and they'll believe it. Because why? They don't know what a fucking tariff is. They're only attaching themselves to the people they like. Oh, I feel Donald Trump is right because I feel the way he does. Or I feel like Mr. Straightfax is right because I feel the same way he does. But see, there's only two differences. It's a huge difference between me and them is I want you to go check me and hold me accountable for what I say so that we're both on the same plane. They want you to listen to them, give them money, and keep rolling, listening to what I say. Don't listen to the Dems. Don't even go and try and figure it out for yourself, because I'm lying to you. I'm just speaking your feelings. We feeling the same way. We got this emotional thing going. We got the same type of anger and hate and frustrations. But they really don't have the same anger and hate and frustrations they do. Jesse Water has money. Jesse Waters is in a more of elite class economically. But he comes on air to speak at a lower level that might be his level, but the news has him speaking the way he's speaking so that these people buy from them. That's why they have millions of people watching them. Because no matter whether you want to believe it or not, the majority of this country is uneducated. How else can people really believe in Jewish space lasers? Did you see Marjorie Taylor Greene reading here recently? She can't read worth a damn herself. She mispronounced words. I mean, words she's reading. I can understand if you just tell her at the top of the dome, you may have got it wrong, but she's reading it. Down on a piece of paper. Wrong. Wrong. Grown-ass woman. In the House, representing a bunch of constituents. And she's not the brightest one of their group. Who would want the town dummy representing you? Scary. In my entire life, I always looked up to people who were smarter than me. And I wanted people who were smarter than me, that could get things better than me, can comprehend things better than me, to lead. So that my kids will look up to somebody as opposed to look at them. They're looking up to them saying, I want to be like that. I want to learn. Who wants to grow up and be Trump? Who wants to grow up and be Pam Bondi? They put them in positions that people look up to. But the people in the positions are idiots. And you're like, how? Because whether we want to believe it or not, or accept it or not, the majority of Americans are uneducated. We didn't think the ones who are educated from 8th grade up, or what, when I say uneducated, I mean they read and speak and comprehend anywhere between a 4th to 6th grade level. I'm not talking, just to be reading at a high school level is considered elite to them. It's considered elite if you speak at a 12th grade level. If you're speaking at a college level, forget it. Think about this. When they talk about elite, we always thought, at least I did, I can't speak for you, but I always thought when they were talking about elite, they were talking about the wealthy and the ones who went to like Harvard, to Yale, Stanford. That's what I thought they meant when they talked about elite. And what Donald Trump figured out, I give this to him, they weren't talking about that being elite. You know how you know this? Listen to Donald Trump. Why do they like Donald Trump when Donald Trump went to elite schools? Had an elite life. This man literally had a gold toilet in his crib. It ain't about the economics. Donald Trump, they know. Education-wise, he's just as uneducated as they are. He speaks their level because he's at that level. He was just privileged to have a father who made a crap ton of money in order for him to have a safety blanket. Look at everything he's done. He's failed at it. He's not bright enough to succeed. Think about it. With a high school or college education, meaning like really at a level that Donald Trump, if he actually spoke that and comprehended at that level, the things he could accomplish, the businesses that he's had. But because this man is just a few steps above illiterate, and I ain't gonna say that, he's in the illiterate category, anywhere between 4th to 6th grade. This man speaks and comprehends. That's why he couldn't do anything right. Donald Trump, like Epstein said, didn't know a balance sheet. It makes sense. Because when he bought the first casino, he bought it for way too much money. Way more than what it's worth, and way more than any other casinos around him were worth. And then he renovated it. Put another $200 or $300 million. That casino was like $1 billion that they put in there, close to it. He couldn't make that back. Had a balloon payment that was way higher than the money that he was taking in. Obviously, you go bankrupt. You would think you would have somebody there to tell him, dude, you ain't doing this right. And I'm pretty sure he did, but he didn't want to listen. Just like this man don't know what tariffs are. No matter how much you tell him what tariffs are, he keeps telling everybody else, no, it's not what it is. The point I'm making is my frustrations about their level of intellect is partly my fault too, because in my entire life, I always fought to be smarter each year, to work harder and get better. And in my head, wrong or right, I thought that people who stopped trying to get smarter, those were the ones that were being lazy. They were like, I got enough education. And I'm like, but things are going to pass you by if you don't keep learning. I learned that very well by relatives in my family. Growing up, when I was learning about computers, my parents and grandparents was like, boy, ain't nobody trying to mess with no damn Atari. What you talking about? I'm like, but it's a game. He said, that shit was 8-bit. And they were like, by the time things really got, they didn't know how to operate a phone. They didn't know how to turn on a computer. They didn't even know what a computer was. I'm like, life will pass you by if you don't continue educating yourself. So I was like, they're just mentally like lazy. The level they're at, they quit. That's what I was saying. And to part, that's true. But the reality is I realize in order to reach people, we have to be able to communicate. And our divide isn't the fact about intellect or non-intellect. It's about we don't want to listen to one another because one, it's too hard. It's too hard. For a person who has, any kind of education, you get tired of hearing their babble. Like, what the we keep on telling them over and over again, a tariff is this, a tariff is this, a tariff is this, a tariff is this. And they're like tuning out. And Donald Trump has come on and just say one time, we're making a lot of money with these tariffs. And we make a lot of money with these tariffs. I'm like, do you know how a tariff works? Nope, but Trump said it. Oh. And you keep on doing it. He's like, you know what? We give up. We just call them stupid and move it on. But at some point, we're going to have to work something out or just go and get more people to buy into the system to vote so that those people just can go back into their cave. But when you break it down, we want the same things. It's just that they don't comprehend. And that's why they love the unintelligent people, because it's easier to get them to feel. We don't speak feelings like they speak it. Trump speaks fluent feeling. The dude whines about everything. Whine. It's like, dude, do you have a solution for shit? Nope. Whine. They're always coming after me. They're always coming, and they eat it up. So my thing is, how do we provide solutions and how do we communicate? Because this division thing is tearing our country apart. Now, I understand we're not going to be able to reach racist people. We're not going to be able to reach xenophobic people, transphobic people. We're not going to be able to reach them because they are stuck in their ways no matter what. But those who are just at a different level of comprehension, we got to find a way to communicate to them in order to get them to work not for our best interest, but for their own. Because it's sad that there's so many people that are so, like, I don't want to talk down to them, but just so, like, unaware of what's for them and what's against them, that they're constantly voting on what's against them. And it's got to the point where all it has to be is that if a liberal believes it, they'll run the other way, even if it's something that's benefiting them. And those types of solutions, and I've been working on and trying to help people understand, like, just terminologies. I think it starts with just learning terms. I mean, just like anything else, when we learn ABCs, we got to start learning, people got to start learning the ABCs of civics, of politics, of day-to-day life, to know policies. Because they get us with buzzwords, and a policy would have 7,000 things in it and tell you, you know what, it's great for you on this topic, but then all the rest of them are destroying or even negating the topic in which they're pointing at you, saying, oh, here, this is going to give you so much money back. Oh, the tariffs are going to take it all away and then some. So it doesn't win. You lose. And they do it on purpose. And we have got to dumb it down to the point, and I don't even want to say dumb it down, but you know what I mean. But we got to put it in a situation where we can all understand it. I'm working on something myself to try and do that, just to be able to kind of like educate without being too abrasive toward it, so that people can kind of like come in where they learn, the level in which they learn, and not making fun of people. I do this because I'm frustrated. I'm pissed off that I gotta say the same things over and over again. These people aren't catching it, and the fact that I'm speaking facts and asking people to go back and look at what I'm saying. Don't trust my words. Go for it. And they're willing to listen to somebody that will tell them, don't go look nowhere else. I'm speaking the truth. All while they're losing their homes and their jobs and their farms. And it's sad. But then I go to that phrase that doesn't always mean money, but I think we always attach this phrase to money. That phrase where it says, to whom much is given, much is expected. We mostly tie that to money. Like people who've gotten prestige and power, much is expected of you. But I'm applying it to our intellect as well. Not all of us were born equal in that process. Common sense ain't common, even though we want it to be and we think it is because it says common sense, is not common. So if you were blessed with a brain that can comprehend at a higher level, that can determine things that other people can't, can figure out puzzles and put them together mentally that other people just can't do, instead of, always like going and being abrasive about it, because you got to get it off your chest. I get it. But as much as it may seem like a burden to us, we were given this blessing of being able to decipher, to be logical. And it's our job, because we were given that. Much is expected of us to be able to protect those who are smart, who are not smart. Well, I ain't gonna say smart, who are not able to do what we do, right? Because I feel like this always being mad stuff is not really kind of like helping the process, because these people are running the opposite way and messing up their lives even worse. And if they're going to keep effing up the country because of their inability to accept the fact that there's something about them that is cultish, that is feeling oriented as opposed to logic oriented. And like I said, not the ones that are racist and homophobic, all that, they lost. But the ones who just can't comprehend and just believe what their friends say because they think their friend is smart, because their friend's smarter than them, we have to figure out a way to not be abrasive toward that, but at the same time, be informative about that. And it's hard to do because I just want to be honest, it's hard to understand it. It's hard to like take the level of logic you have and lessen it. It's like, how do I break this down even simpler than what I've got? Because everybody here speaks or has a different comprehension level. Mine is lower and higher in certain places. And I'm sure in your community, yours is lower or higher in some places as well. I got friends who graduated from Yale. And, when I've had friends who graduated from elite schools. And when I walk in a room speaking to them, I'm like, holy crap, these people are using words I don't ever use. Their level is higher than me when it comes to using, the lexicon. Their vocabulary is different than mine. But I'm not one to sit there and just like exclude them because they have more of a higher education than me. I'm there to say like, okay, let me take down some of these words and try to figure it out myself. I'm going to bring myself up, as opposed to me in a situation of intellectually. That's part of working harder. And that's why I really couldn't understand people who don't do that. But we're all different. And so I'm trying to bridge that gap so that we can all be on the same page. Every last one of us don't want to go broke if any of us get sick. You done spent your whole life, blood, sweat, and tears, working your jobs, your businesses, careers, whatever it is. And nobody knows what's around the corner. And whether you're Republican, independent, don't vote at all, Democrat, liberal, whatever, highly uber conservative, whatever you are, you're human. And the human elements are going to catch up with you. And depending on your life, even if you are a person who has the means, you don't know what you're going to come down to that could break you. We all are going through that. This life thing's a trip. We all are going through it. And we all want certain things. But what I've noticed is we got too many people competing with other people and believe the idea of tearing somebody else down and lifting yourself up is the American thing. That's the way it's supposed to be. No wonder we're in the situations that we are in now. There's no reason that we all don't have at least basic health care, preventative maintenance. I mean, come on, everybody should have that. Ask yourself, why do you think, as a human being, that everybody in the United States should not have health care so that working hard and getting sick does not erase all the years of working hard? Your life is supposed to get better as you get older, but we all know we're going to get sicker as we get older. And so it's almost a guaranteed, no matter what we grow old with, arthritis, any other ailments, our insurance, our going to the doctor is going to be higher, which means we're going to be spending more money, burning more cash, but not making any more cash. We know that. So why would we set our own people, American citizens, up for failure at the end of their life after they've given their life to make this country a better place during their stay on earth? It makes no sense. People should not be getting older and worrying more about paying bills after you don't spend your entire life making people rich while you get pennies on a dollar. And at the end, you're just broke. Barely can afford to pay for your funerals. If you haven't paid for them already, you still got to have all these other things that happen in your life. And some people, you don't know when you're going to go, so you may not have everything ready because you never really had the funds to do so. That's not the way we should be living this life. And I don't understand any human being that can say they have love in their heart could literally allow other citizens to lose their home or even die because they can't afford medications. I'm like, healthcare should not be something that we should be just like, you get it, you get it. You don't, you don't. That should be a covenant that we have with each other. In different times in history, the doctor in your community used to barter. You bring him a chicken, he'd do whatever thing you need if you was hurting. And now you got to have a piece of plastic to go to your neighborhood doctor that you don't spend all this money for, just so they can tell you you're going to see a specialist who's going to want even more money. And treat you like you are a number. That's crazy how humans can really think that should be the way it should go. To me, pretty shitty human beings if that's the way we think it should happen. One of the things I realized is that um, in my life, I've been poor, I've had money, I've been all these different things. But I remember when I lost everything and had to go through that type of system and was worried about, all this stress and things that are happening. And I lie to you not, the healthcare system that I was spending thousands of dollars a month for me and my family. I had better health care when I was getting it from the state. What do I mean by that? My doctors were fucking nicer, more respectful. And I wasn't necessarily getting it from the state, I was getting it from a part of the ACA thing. And they were nicer. Best doctors ever had. And I'm sitting there like, how am I was spending thousands a month for insurance and my doctors were crappy. And then everything falls, my business falls apart, all stuff like that. And I had to start back over. And my insurance was better. That's when I knew healthcare was a ripoff in this country. Because if people can get it for little or nothing or free and their doctors care more about them, then this is a whole game of these rich people just saying, hey, we're in the business of death, not in the business of health. Because if you can not care about your patients or healthcare plan, like when companies that create a plan to say no to you, even when they know you need it, or to look at you and say, well, he's at stage 4, you're going to die anyway. Make it so that you don't necessarily live longer because it's like, oh, this is going to cost $50,000. You got it? No. Oh, okay, then go home and take this medicine and just wait it out. I don't know, but it just doesn't seem like the country that talks about it loves, Americans love Americans. Sounds like Americans love money or power or positions. And it doesn't matter who or what has it. You just want it. And you care less if somebody dies. More for me. That's just sad. That's why we should have a medical system. Every developed country that is a democracy that says it has free health care, things are working out great. I got friends who went to get free health care. They were in another country and had to go get some things. Just walk in, walk out. It was great. Went in, this one person, as a friend of mine, went in, I forgot where they were at, but they went into the hospital and they didn't feel well. They gave them this whole, like, it wasn't a box, it was like sleeves of like pills. And they were like, how much do I owe you? Nothing. Take it with you. Take this one once a day, whatever, twice a day, whatever the hell they told them to do. No, you don't owe nothing. Gave them a sleeve of pills. That shit would have cost them by $800 or some shit in the United States without insurance. Would have gave you one damn aspirin for $35. They gave them a sleeve of pills for nothing. They cared about the person. We want you to feel better. Why in the hell can America be that way? I mean, how hard is it to just give a damn? Really weird, right? Anyway, that's the way, I look at it. We're going to have to figure out a way to speak to one another to help each other see the benefits for us all. I myself personally, I'm sick of party stuff. I want things to actually work for the people. And yes, I'm a Democrat, been that way my entire life, but again, I'm sick of the party stuff. We literally have to think about the individual. We all want the same things. We have different ways of going about it. But we have a rich class here that doesn't give a shit about any of us. Their job is to divide us so that they can make all the money while we bitch and moan to each other. Could you imagine the billionaires sitting up at the top, paying off these politicians to do whatever the hell they want them to do, and looking down on us and saying, look at these fools fight each other. The longer they fight, the more we win. The only time these billionaires who are destroying all of our lives, these people with power who are destroying all of, the only way we defeat them is through a word that's 5 letters. UNITY. That's the only way we defeat them. And in order for us to get to this UNITY phase, we got to figure out what it is that we want. And communicate with each other. And speak each other's language to some degree. Because honestly, I think bad actors on all sides of everything are the ones determining how all of us are going. We're just like lab rats. We're just running in a circle, bitching and moaning at each other. We know, no disrespecting, but we know on most levels, because we're the ones actually doing the homework, we know we're right on a lot of these topics. And when we're wrong, we have no problem admitting it. But on that side, these people know these people are unaware. And because they got them hating us, and because, again, I'm a part of this, that I'm making fun of them, they're not going to listen. Well, at some point, even myself, I got to start realizing it ain't about me. It's about we. And we got to figure out a way to get those people to see their best interest. And it's about understanding where they're at mentally. And I haven't been able to figure that out, but I'm trying now. I'm trying to figure it out, because democracy is on the line, and these people blindly are running toward it. The end of democracy, that is. They're running toward it. Full force. And whatever we're doing now ain't working. But there's some doors opening where we can agree on these young children need to be vindicated or protected after all these years. They're grown people now. But Jeffrey Epstein got what he deserved. Well, he did it himself, but he's off the planet, not being able to hurt anybody anymore. Ghislaine Maxwell has gotten what she deserved. Donald Trump and all the others need to get what they deserve. And that's something that we can all agree on. If it has to start there, then let's do it. But in the meantime, we got to start finding places where we agree, and then try to better understand why a person thinks the way they're thinking. What are they talking about getting? And again, you're not going to be able to change anybody who are doing things for hate. But anybody that's trying to do right by them and just unaware because they're listening to someone, we got to figure out a way. And so I'm working on like this vocabulary thing to kind of like educate people, because I know a lot of people that I talk to would tell me that they're watching either news or some podcast or whatever, and oftentimes they have to look it up. Like they were like, trickle down economics. What is it? And I want to, like, no disrespect to the word term, but it's like, I want to simplify it. Simplify it to the point where you better understand it. Everybody comprehends at a different level. So if we can simplify it at different levels so that other people can understand it, I think, them having something that they can go to do that, whether it be a website, an app, whatever it may be, instead of having to have me in their face doing it, because again, they may not like me, they may not like my race or my tone or my voice or whatever, or me seeming like I'm too smart. If they could learn at their own pace, something that they can have in their hands that they don't have like any kind of bias to, just facts upon facts, that to me is something that can help ease the divide and get us on the same plane. Even though you may comprehend it different, if you learn trickle-down economics at your comprehension level and had examples, maybe we can get on the same plane, the same level, and start voting, operating on the same interest. Maybe. It's just my solution-oriented mind that says somehow we got to come to a solution. Because fighting this entire time, they're winning. The billionaires are winning. The rich and powerful are winning, and we're suffering the consequences. Our fellow Latin brothers and sisters are on the fucking Underground Railroad right now, hiding out, can't go to work. How are they providing for their families? They can't get government assistance. These people are probably starving in their own homes. We have to do something, because doing nothing is complicit. So I'm going to continue on this path, doing whatever I can do. We'll read some of these things that people are saying. DJ, she asked about Maxwell getting pardoned. I believe she will be, and I don't want her to. And I'm not trying to speak it into existence. I'm just going off of Donald Trump's mode of operation, right? This man, every time he does something that his followers or just Americans may not like, he always starts off with, I have the right to do it. I'm not saying I'm going to do it, but I have the right to do it. January 6th people. I have the right to do it. I'm not going to say I'm going to do it, but I have the right to do it. Everybody he pardoned, he started off like that. Opposed to how he should react if he wasn't going to do something like that. Somebody asked him that. No, I'm not pardoning her. She harmed children. Why would I do that? It makes no sense. That's the response we should get from him. But instead, it's kind of like, I could. And it's just like he did it before. When he says he can, he wants to see the outrage from his side of the fence. MAGA, are they listening to it? Are they ignoring it? Are they pissed off about it? Because he knows what we're going to think. We don't matter. So he's trying to figure out if his group of people are going to be irate about it, boisterous about it. Because if they kind of like go flatline with it, she's coming out. Just like they did with January 6th. Their people was fine with it, most of them. They're out, committing other crimes, some of them. I have no doubt some of those same people are walking around here as ICE, snatching up Latin people. Yeah. Sad, but yeah, I do believe he's going to let her out. He's just putting those feelers out there for people to kind of like either get pissed or not. And if MAGA goes nuts like, hell no, 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 he won't let her out. But if they let that shit die, because he ain't going to try and blow this thing up. He wants it to disappear. but it's not disappearing either direction he goes. He lets her out, it's going to blow up even more. He keeps her in, still going to continue to blow up. He's trying to figure out a win if you haven't noticed. He's been going all over the place making these fake ass deals and traveling over the place playing golf and bringing up Obama for treason and everything under the freaking sun. Meanwhile, what are they doing for Americans? What are they passing for Americans? What are they doing for us in their office? Nothing. All of them are out there trying to give cover to the Orange Cretin. Just insane. See what Dennis Petro said, investigation. I don't know. I missed it. Maybe just investigation. Maybe I missed some other conversation. She won't be held accountable either. What you think? Yeah, I don't know exactly what all the details are going to be. I see that, but I think it's going to be like time served type of thing. But it makes no sense. She's already been put in jail for what she did. She needs to serve her time for it. I mean, those girls, you know, some of them had to go to their grave with no justice. It's terrible. Who else we got? I see. Yeah, Jen James. He said, I haven't thought of that. Donald Trump's thought of it. Like, I just know. We all know. Everybody here who's had children. Because Donald Trump is like as easy to figure out as like a small child. I remember, and my daughter's probably going to be pissed I said this. I remember when my daughter was younger. And she was diabetic type 1 at age 2. So, and, you know, there were certain things she couldn't eat. And if she did, she had to eat it in moderation. So one of the things that she was low that she could have was like chocolate, you know, kid with chocolate. But, you know, if you ever known a child who's diabetic, chocolate is like everything to them. They want it, even though it's something that could kill them. And so as a kid, you can tell when a kid's lying. And you know, because it's always written all over their face. And this, when Trump talks, it's all over his face. You can tell it. Just like this example of my daughter. I was looking for her. I'm like, the chocolate's gone out of this little thing, and the wrapper's just sitting on. And she's a little kid. She's like 3, 4 years old, maybe 5 at the most. And I'm looking for her. I'm like, where she's at? Because, you know, I figured she ate it. We had to give her some insulin or something like that. Because, you know, I knew she was going. She loved it. I'm looking for this child everywhere, y'all. And she's playing like a killer game of hide and seek. And then I look, and she got her little butt behind the curtains, hiding in the curtains. Chocolate all over her face, y'all. I'm like, did you even get it in your mouth? It was all over her face. Melted chocolate everywhere. I'm sitting there like, did you have some chocolate? No. Nope. Nope. It's all over the place. I'm like, little lying ass kid right now. So like, you mean this chocolate on your mouth? Same thing with Donald Trump. Just like that child. Look you right dead in the face and tell you what you already fucking know to be the truth. He'll tell you a lie. And that's what he does. He's saying that, oh, I have a right to, or I'm not in the files, even though he knew he was. You knew he was in the files because as soon as they said, are you in the files, whatever, no, but this person is, so you know who's in the files. I thought you said there was nothing to be seen. The reporters didn't do that. That's what they should have asked. The next question should have been, how do you know that Clinton's in there 28 times when you said you haven't seen the files and that you were told that your name was not in said files, but now you know what files say? I mean, this shit doesn't add up whatsoever. And reporters don't ask these questions. It would have been the second question I asked. It would have been my follow-up. Oh, so Clinton's in there 28 times. Nice. How do you know that? I thought you haven't seen it. Simple, on-the-spot question. Didn't do it. Didn't even come close to doing it. Like, again, sometimes it shocks me that these people are professionals. I'm like, what is your job? I mean, you're supposed to be there for the American people. That's what the media is about. Getting the facts for the American people. The questions that we would want to ask, you should know. And with technology being the way it is, people should be able to type in questions or whatever, and somebody gives you the right ones that oh, that sounds good, and sends it to you. Because the ones y'all write up be trash most of the time. You be like, what? Why they ask that? You got all this time to ask questions. You ask this lame ass question. Most of Americans don't care about some of the shit they're asking for, which is odd to me. It's like, how could you be so far off? But again, everybody has their own comprehension level, and oftentimes I think they're believers, their followers or uh, audience are all at the same level, and they're not. So somehow they got to figure that out too. But anyway, let's see. I want to thank everybody who was here. What's up, Dennis Petro? Thank you for being a member and being here. Rooted in Planet Janet, thank you. I'm gonna look at some other questions as I go through if I see any. DJ, as always, I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. I did say rude already. Let me see. Who else? Jennifer Reggae, thank you for being here. I am doing well. I didn't get a chance to answer that. I'm doing very well. I just got back from vacation, had a good time. I don't know if y'all ever been to Seattle, but Seattle was pretty cool. I went to see, to hang out. My girlfriend and her friend, and their family's just awesome. And then I went to, I forgot what the guy called it, but where there's, I guess they said a lock or something like that, where they take boats and put them in this little space, and then they raise them up to the water level for the next water level and take them on. I forgot what it's called, but it was crazy. I hadn't seen that like that before in my life. Uh, and then they had the Taste of Seattle, and it's so crazy. I didn't plan for this because I just went to hang out for a few days. I didn't know it was there, and I had already eaten, so I'm like, sheesh. But they had all kind of food from all over the world. It was crazy. I wish I had been able to try it, but it's a nice place. I'm gonna have to go back. But Vera, thank you for being here. Just Listen Podcast, thank you for being here, bro. Who else we got? Kenneth, I see you. Swift Returns, I see what's up. The more people speak into power, the louder our voices become. 100% Swift Returns. 100%. Let me see who else. Mm-mm-mm. Oh, I see you, Jorge. And then Moral. 100%. Let's see what we got. Michael McCullough, what's going on? I don't know if you're still in the room. I'm going back to the top, so some people may have already left, but I still want to give love to those who came and the members. Thanks for the regulars who stopped by. I appreciate you. If I miss you, it's because this thing is hard to catch everybody. Mark D, what's up, brother? Always a pleasure. Chuck Johnson, I see you. Um, yep, I think that's pretty much it. Thanks to all the members. You guys know how to support the show. I'll put it up for you right now. I always support the show. I come on Monday through Friday around 5:30 Pacific Standard Time, and I just cover the things of the day. Now, this past week I wasn't here, so I kind of covered some of that. Working toward other things. I'm on TikTok also, Mr. Strayfax 23. If you go on TikTok, I'm gonna start doing podcasts on just audio and video podcast. But that's gonna be solutions. That's Avid Solutionist. Whole new other thing. I'm probably gonna have a different background and all stuff like that. But I just want to provide the solutions that I come up with. I want other people to benefit from them. I mean, I can't make all these things up myself, so I come up with solutions. I don't care. You run with it. Do whatever you want. If you have questions and things of that nature, I want to be able to help. If you ever heard of a mastermind, it's going to be similar to that. People are going to come to me, come up on live, and I'm gonna probably go through TikTok, but I'm gonna stream it on YouTube as well. Going through TikTok, I can bring people up and we can talk and go back and forth. and be able to have a conversation that everybody can hear on different platforms at the same time, so that we can provide solutions for people, love on people, and then make people's lives better, as opposed to always being upset about things. My thing is, there's a time and a place for everything. This space is needed to educate people and to go off sometimes to let off steam, but Avid solution is needed as well, and that's to go to a place that's a positive, like, safe haven. That you got a problem, nobody's judging you. We just want to help you. We want to love on you and do exactly what we say we do, what we say that we should be, better human beings, people who are trying to help people instead of trying to destroy them, people who are trying to love on them and not hate on them. There needs to be that type of place where it's a we thing and not a me thing. So that part, Avid Solutionist, is going to be fun, lighthearted, having a good time, cracking jokes, doing crazy stuff, but coming up with crazy ideas. Sometimes ideas that are just fantastical, just to be having fun. The world we want to live in. I'm just going to be a solution, like, haven. Everybody can come in and talk about it. So that way I can get to know people and their problems, and we can try and help solve them as a group. And maybe, helps, no matter what, background you're in, politician, I don't care what it is. Everybody has problems. And oftentimes, I always realized this when I was younger, is that I always was told to listen to my elders. And so I would listen to my elders so that I wouldn't have to go down the same path that they did, or I would go down the same path if something positive came out of what they did. And therefore, I learn about life that I don't have to go through it all the time. And so, being in that mindset, it's like, why not offer our wisdom to those people who come in? It's not going to always be me providing the solutions. There might be somebody in the room, because like I said, I'm going to do audio as well, that might step up and be like, hey, I was in that path. This is the solution. And offer that up. You know what I mean? So it's to me, I'm tired of the hoarding. If you got something that can bless somebody's life, if it's just wisdom and knowledge, there's no reason you should hold on to it and take it to the grave. It's every reason in the world that you should be able to help lift other people, and it can only benefit you, because if that's what you do for a living, helping that one person out, other people are going to send people down your path and bless you other ways. So I look at it like that. Let's have this positive space that I'm building, so that we can help each other. Then keep this space as well so that we can let off on one another. But, he's still I'm a loving person, but I'm going to get in your ass when you lie to me and you try to pull one over on people that I care about. And that's the reason why I do this, is that I'm a defensive person. When people lie to people, to me, it's putting hate. It's making that person have to work harder to try and get the truth to light. And I don't like people who play with hate and play with lying, because it can destroy people's lives. And we're about lifting people's lives. And through education and knowledge, we're lifting each other. We're growing. All right? Cool. So, oh, did he get appointed? I didn't see the news today since I've been doing this. I was rehearsing earlier. What was it rooted in Planet Janet? With election publicly funded, there would be, oh yeah, publicly funded, no corporate donors. And I look at it this way: even if corporate donors are going to pay money into the system, just the same amount as any other human being can. I mean, because they use them as human beings. But even if they were going to do that, but I agree with you, it shouldn't have any say so in it. The people who work there could, but the corporations should not have a say so in it, because again, it's too much money and too much influence. I would make it so that they shouldn't be able to have lobbying either, but lobbying in the sense of lobbying through paying money. You can have a group of people that come together, and me and you and 10 people in our community can lobby together and not have to give money, but go and say, hey, we believe in this, listen to us. But when it comes to cash, they get all the people listening to them, and we don't. And it's just simple as that. But anyway, I appreciate you guys being here. Always a pleasure to see you guys converse with each other. Check question by Danya Harvey. Is it one earlier? Oh, Sonia Harvey. Glad you had a great time. How is your mom doing? I hope she's thriving. Thank you, Sonia. My mom is doing pretty much the same. I don't think it's going to get any better than what it is. But, you know, she's still, you know, healthy, out walking every day. You know, it's not in her walking, it's more in her memory, things that she remembers. She remembers a lot, and then, you know, when she gets tired, the memory kind of goes away. Not fully. It's not like an Alzheimer's type of thing gone away, but you just have to repeat it. And so, yeah, but other than that, she's doing great. Health wise, the doctor says everything's healthy, heart, everything's doing well. She, you know, she has to continue getting checkups, stuff like that, and every checkup so far has been great. So we'll see, you know, how everything continues to go. But we all know, you know, we're not going to be naive to the fact she's almost 80, or she just turned, no, yeah, she just turned 80 this year in May. And so we just keep praying, positive thoughts, and I'm going to try and go visit her soon. But thank you, Sonia. I appreciate you for asking. All right. You guys, much love to y'all. Y'all know how it is. Y'all have a good night. Be safe. I'll see you tomorrow around 5:30 Pacific Standard Time. Hopefully, you know, it's not too crazy of a news day, but you know he's going to try and deflect. But again, look forward to the other programs that I'm talking about doing so that we can get into a space where we're helping each other and creating opportunities for one another and somehow bringing this divide, or just getting rid of the divide, and start working on how we can form some type of unity so that we can make this country really great. But, you know, it's going to take some work and some time, but it starts with one person, and the rest of us come together. We can make it happen. Trust and believe. All right. Thank you, Sonia. I see you guys tomorrow around 5:30 Pacific Standard Time, as always. I see you when I see you.